Fire, the most ancient of elements, the spark that ignited human evolution. Fire-based powers, or pyrokinesis, involves creating, shaping, and manipulating fire, and sometimes heat itself. Characters can control existing flames or generate new ones from nothing. They launch fireballs and flaming arrows. They propel themselves through the air like jet engines. Some even use fire to cleanse or purify the soul. If you want to write your own fire-based power system, stick around until the end. I'll cover everything you need to know. First, we need to understand the traits of fire users. Before you design the mechanics, you need to understand who actually wields these powers. Fire represents passion, destruction, rebirth, and intensity. These themes should manifest naturally in your characters. Many authors tend to make fire users hot-headed and impulsive. It's cliché, but it works. Characters that use fire tend to go in one of two directions. They exude extreme levels of confidence that borders on arrogance, or the complete opposite, disciplined restraint because they understand how dangerous their power really is. It's a common trope that emotions fuel their abilities. Anger might boost their raw power, while panic makes their flames spiral out of control. You should also think about physical markers too. What physical trait can you give the users of fire in your world or story? Maybe an easy-to-spot birthmark, or symbols appearing on their skin when their powers activate. Fire users usually have a natural resistance to burns. This is common sense, but it might be interesting to put them in a story or scenario where they don't. Or maybe they're only immune to specific sources of fire. These traits can be constant, or they only show up when they're using their powers. Also, whenever you're writing a power system for a world or story, you need to think about the societal implications of these powers. Are fire users feared as walking disasters? Are they revered as warriors? Or maybe they're exploited as living weapons? Knowing how they're treated will affect how they behave. Maybe they're outcast because of past accidents. Or maybe they're celebrated heroes. Whatever you choose. You should also determine what weaknesses they have. In stories with fire-based powers, authors tend to tie the weakness and strength of a fire user to their emotions. Now let's actually explain how to create your fire-based power system. Step number 1, determine how fire is actually used. For combat, this is about how they actually fight with fire. Long-ranged attacks like fireballs, flame whips, bow and arrows, etc. For close-ranged, melee attacks. They could use their powers to coat weapons or enhance them with heat. Maybe you want to make it large-scale instead. You could give your characters the ability to build physical walls, superheat air, or melt the ground into magma. Once you've determined how characters fight with fire, you should look at how it's used day to day. Things like welding, forging, cooking, and providing light or heat when you need to survive. Here's the critical choice. Do fire users manipulate existing flames or generate flames from nothing? Existing fire means characters always need to ignite something first, meaning they'd need to carry matches, lighters, or oil, or special clothing like gloves that allow them to spark flames at will. If your characters can generate fire at will, it's much more flexible, but you should think logically about it. Even in a fantasy setting, exerting their powers might fatigue them, or require special food to use as fuel. You could add different fire types too. Blue flames for precision work, wild orange flames for chaos and destruction. Ask yourself this: what's the most creative, non-combat use of fire in my world? How does it affect daily life? And are there taboos around certain uses? How do fire users fit into society? Are they soldiers, artisans, or outlaws? What problems come from fire generation? Oxygen depletion in closed spaces or accidental burns to allies? Step number 2, establish where the fire comes from. The origin of fire powers shapes the rules, how rare it is, and what role it plays in society. Inheriting fire powers through bloodlines creates dynasties of fire users, but it also creates conflicts around eugenics and forced breeding. If pyrokinetic abilities come from science, this means there's likely a long history of experiments or genetic engineering behind it. Maybe the source of their fire comes from magic spells, curses, or blessings. Fire powers can come from external entities like gods, demons, creatures, or spirits who grant fire-based powers. You could even tie fire-based powers to artifacts, minerals, or specific locations like volcanoes. This would make for interesting conflict as characters would fight over resources and territory. Choose any source of power you want. Ask yourself this: how does the source affect who gets power? Is it fair or exclusive? And what happens if the source of fire powers are destroyed or cut off? Step number 3, classify the users within your system. Classifications are the distinct categories inside your power system. Imagine your power system as a tree, and each branch is a class of powers. Each one should feel unique in combat and training. Maybe one class of fire powers allows users to use only ranged attacks. Maybe another allows users to create magma. Maybe another class of powers allows users to enhance their physical body with fire. You can also make the classifications just based on skill level rather than on what they can actually do. This also makes scaling it later much easier. Novice users might only be able to handle basic flame generation. Experienced users might be able to shape fire into tools and weapons, and masters might be able to manipulate heat itself yourself, or achieve combustion without visible flames, or teleport through fire. Or you could also base your classifications on different factions or organizations in your world. Maybe military schools use fire powers on combat and strategy. Artisans might teach crafting, forging, and delicate work. Religious institutions could use fire powers for rituals, purifications, or healing. Each faction could have its own techniques and methods of using pyrokinetic abilities. Ask yourself this: what unique classifications make my power system different from others? Are there forbidden classifications, like taboo ways to use fire? How do users from different classifications interact with each other? Do they compete for resources or work together in teams? Can users develop abilities from multiple classifications, or are they locked into one path forever? Step number 4, name your power system. Your power system needs a memorable name. The name should be easy to remember and speak without slowing down your dialogue. If the fire in your story comes from gods and goddesses, then mythological names might be a good choice. If it's scientific, the name should sound technological or like a lab project. The names could also be tied to specific cultural traditions or real-life folklore. The goal is to avoid clunky or awkward-sounding names that are hard to pronounce out loud. Test it out. Try saying the name you came up with over and over again to get a feel of it. Think about abbreviations as well. Maybe there isn't a specific name for the power system itself, but fire users themselves might be called something specific. Step number 5, figure out the limits of your power system. This is what characters can't do no matter how skilled they become. These are the absolute limits of your world that are impossible to break. Limits are important, not only to make your story more interesting, but to help prevent plot holes and force you to use creative problem solving. First, establish what fire can't burn. Maybe it can't affect certain materials or other fire users. Next, determine what's required for powers to actually work. Does it require oxygen? Do the targets need to be in a character's line of sight? Or if fire is sourced from magic, does it require spoken commands like spells? Next, determine what the side effects of using fire powers are. Maybe the user's body temperature drops dangerously after extended use, or increases dangerously. Maybe fire comes from their life energy, and their lifespan is shortened each time they use their powers. Make sure to think about environmental limits. If fire powers are tied to a location in your world, they might be useless under certain conditions. Certain areas of your world could suppress powers. Being inconsistent with your power system's limits is a major problem. Having your fire powers work in one scene but not another destroys reader trust. Convenient exceptions can feel like cheap plot armor. The point of limitations is to create interesting obstacles for characters to overcome. Ask yourself this: what's the one thing fire absolutely cannot do in my world? How do characters work around these limits creatively? Do they carry oxygen tanks? Use oil to spread fire on water? Develop entirely new strategies? What happens if someone tries to break these limits? Do they fail, face consequences, or discover something unexpected? Step number 6, establish the rules. You have your limits, but you also need your rules. Limits are about the extent of the power. Rules are about how the power is used and the consequences for breaking them. For activation, you should decide if powers are passive, like if users of the power have bodies that are constantly running warm or ready to activate at any time, or if powers are dormant and need some specific kind of activation. Like if fire came from magic, is there a specific spell or gesture needed to use fire? Or are powers automatically activated with special triggers? The triggers could be anything like emotion spiking, blood contact, etc. Once you figure out your rules, you need to figure out your consequences. What's the cost of breaking your rules? Physical costs could mean that fire causes fatigue, burns, or faster aging. Step number 7, determine the scale of powers. From novice to legendary, how big or small can feats be scaled? Beginners should be able to do small things with fire, like lighting candles, warming hands, creating small sparks. Their training would involve basic control. Intermediate users would start to get a grasp on combat with fire. They train through sparring other users, or meditation. Masters should have a full grasp of what fire powers can do. This is the level where advanced and personalized abilities would begin to show up. Legendary users should transcend normal limits. They should use fire in ways that are unheard of in your story's world. This level demands either a lifetime of training or some kind of gift like a blessing from a god. Ask yourself this: what clearly separates veterans from rookies in my world? How do non-combat feats scale? What price does a user pay for legendary power? Does reaching the highest levels require sacrifice? And if so, what makes it worth the cost? Step number 8, design the advanced abilities. Advanced abilities separate masters from novices. Determine how users unlock these: intense training or discipline, near-death experiences that push users beyond normal limits, interactions with special creatures or entities, genetic awakening at certain ages, or forbidden rituals that offer power at terrible costs. Each method should challenge characters. Ask yourself this: how does mastering advanced techniques change a character's role? Do they become teachers, targets, or weapons? What stops everyone from reaching this level? Lack of talent, unwillingness to pay the cost, or simply not knowing these techniques exist? Step number 9, give your protagonist an advantage. In a world where everyone wields fire, your protagonist needs something special. The edge could be something rare in your world, or the edge could be knowledge-based, like ancient techniques or special training from mentors. Ask yourself, what does my protagonist do with fire that no one else can or will? Is their edge natural talent or earned through effort? Step number 10, make sure your power system doesn't have holes in it. This is where you figure out if your power system makes logical sense. Imagine smart characters exploiting loopholes. Imagine evil characters exploiting the limits. Can users overheat an enemy's blood to kill instantly? Can they burn oxygen in closed spaces to suffocate enemies? Can they create endless fire for unlimited energy? If fire users control heat, can they freeze things by removing thermal energy? These questions expose gaps in your logic. Does fire have mass that can move objects for flight? What happens when two fire users collide their flames? Do they cancel out, merge, or explode? If fire purifies spiritually, can it cure diseases or only mystical corruption? Every rule creates implications you need to address. The goal is to fix logical gaps early, before writing them into your story. Bonus step, add extras. Add optional items like special artifacts that boost fire, or legendary items that create quests and power-ups. In conclusion, fire is one of the most versatile elements to base your power system on. It can be used in numerous ways. It's simple enough for characters to master and for the audience to grasp, and it scales easily. This is why it's been used so extensively throughout manga, anime, and movies. Now it's your turn to create something unique with it. If this video helped you, hit the like button and leave a comment below with the fire-based power system you're building. And don't forget to join our Discord community. The link is in the description. It's a great place to share your work and connect with fellow creators. Thanks for watching.